Hey everybody, it's Carrie with Reseller Revenue, and today we're going to take a look at last week's sales and see how it went, how we feel about our sales, how we feel about things are going. I pushed through last week with kind of like some summer cold stuff. I'm feeling a lot better, but some of my videos might be a little bit short this week just because trying to get through them without coughing. I'm sure you understand. So let's check back at last week and see where we were at. So I felt pretty good about last week. I didn't feel like I was having to give stuff away to make sales. Says my total sales were down 14.2%. I'm not worried about it. My goal is 10,000 a week. I was at 8,000. It's okay. I still felt okay about this week. My net sales were down 27%, which of course is not something we always want to see. But it was a 43, 51, 61. It's okay. I'm still feeling okay about this week. I sold 305 items, which was down 8.4%. And these sales first auctions, I've noticed it just is when the cutoff is of my lives, because I can have that swing by 100 or more depending on when I have my lives. So it's okay. My repeat buyers are still hanging in there. Of course, I would love this number to be at 25%, but I'm getting closer. So 83% first time one-time buyers, 17% repeat buyers. I keep an eye on this. It's not something I can necessarily control, but it makes me feel like goals of doing things that make people want to come back are worthwhile and that they're working. Scroll down here. Here I have my shipping and handling. This was up a little bit, but I was still off by a couple $100 for the shipping labels. I understand why that is, and it was due to a promotion, and I'm fine with it, but I still keep my eyes on these numbers all the time. All right, let's see what are some of the things that sold this week that I want to talk about. This was a vintage Alva necklace. I took a $40 offer on it, or $45. And right here is where it is signed, right there. And it was a really nice, well-constructed gold tone necklace. Obviously, I think somebody that was looking for that Alva brand is probably who would buy this, because otherwise this would get lost in the sea of gold tone necklaces. But it sold okay. I was happy with it. I listed that June 28th, so it sold really quick. Here is the sterling silver gemstone pierced earrings signed AK. These I don't think were Anne Klein. I wasn't sure enough though to say. I don't think they are. I think they were possibly a Native American artist, but I couldn't find it, or I wasn't sure. So I just put AK because that's what they were signed. And this started July 19th and it sold already. So very happy with $44 sale on that. This is a pot metal brooch. I get asked about certain signatures on pot metal brooches all the time. So I tried to highlight that it had a little bit of the silver tone wear. I tried to take really good pictures of that. And then on the back here, you'll see that it says LN/25. So that stands for Little Nemo. And that is on a pot metal brooch. That and Glassworks brand are about the only brands I see regularly on our pot metal brooches. But that was a good one to point out. So $52.49. I listed this June 2nd, so it did sell fairly quickly. This one was really unique. I wasn't sure what was happening. Wasn't even totally sure that it was a lady, but I decided to go with the lady and just put drag at the end because it was so original and unique. The picture on it was so different. I knew somebody would see it and have to have it. And it sold for $60.91. I listed this June 4th. This is a Coro V is for Victory. We talked about this in our military jewelry. I guess can't talk on this one. Military jewelry video about the V is for Victory things. This was like Coro's rendition. It was missing a rhinestone. I made sure to put read in the title so people knew it was missing a rhinestone. Sold for $37 in about 24 hours because I only had it up for a day or two. Monet Sterling. So I love a good Monet Sterling piece. I don't find them a lot. This last week I found a sterling brooch and sterling Monet earrings, but it doesn't happen to me all the time. So these are really well made. They kind of, though, the bottoms always look like something, how they punch through and have the dangles on them always look a little out of place whenever I found them. But they are part of the item. Signed Monet Sterling. There we go, $87.99. I did list this in April for the first time, so it took a couple months for it to sell. This is a pot metal. This he may have gotten on there last week. I'm not really sure. I get mixed up because I have the one-day overlap that happens twice. But anyway, this is a pot metal fish brooch. I love the good fish brooch or fish jewelry. I thought he was super cool when I found him, but I don't think everybody else thought he was as cool as I did. He sold for $47. I had some high hopes for him, but he's been there since January, so I had to let him go. This one has a super cool stone in the middle. So it's a vintage dragonfly brooch. I listed this on June 26th. And it wasn't like super old either, but this stone in it was very cool. Like, I mean, I don't think it was like really new either, but it wasn't ancient. It had some repair issues on it and all that good stuff. It may have even been an artisan piece put together, but I made sure I showed pictures of it all. It sold for $80 within, I listed it June 26th, so pretty quickly. Here's a freshwater pearl brooch. This one's been around about a month, so it was very, very long. Didn't have a brand on it, but they were really nice. They were gray, had that iridescent sheen to it. But the 96 inches is really what the selling point on these were for $52.49. Here's a watch fob. It's a tent pyramid Victorian mesh. So it's got the mesh, it's got the little pyramid sign symbols on them. This one was really clean. So I found that I overpriced these a lot. And it's because I think they're really cool. So I've been trying to do better about pricing them with the market, which is at about that $75 market for a lot of them. And then what do you know? It sold at 71. So get it down to market, get it down to earth, and then it sells. This one was a Joan Rivers paisley blue gold tone brooch, and it sold for $52. And I listed this one on June 7th. Let me show you the mark. Maybe I'll show you the mark. So I think it was signed right in the middle there. I didn't take a very good picture of the mark. Sorry, bad idea. Nope, there it is. It says Joan Rivers. This one was super cool, but I had no idea really what it was. Somebody got an amazing deal. Good for them. I think I took an offer of just a little bit lower than this. I want to say 80. I have no idea really what this was. It definitely had a very awesome double-sided stone, I'd say bead, I guess, in it. I have no idea what it was made out of. I'm not really sure what it was. It had a really cool look to it. And so I thought $80 would be sufficient. This was some cool ancient artifact. Like, this looks like a super neat tattoo is what it looks like. You know, good for them. I wasn't sure. So if I didn't label it correctly, that was my bad. There's a gold filled locket again. We have lots of gold filled lockets. I think I sold 7 or 8 of them last week and another 5 or 6 this week. So they are still moving. Make sure they snap really good when you get them. I do prefer them when they are marked gold filled and not just on a hunch, because that's just helpful, even though sometimes I suppose they can lie. But the old ones, lots of them are marked gold filled when they are. This one had been sitting around since January though, so it hadn't really gotten the traction I thought it would right away, but it's gone now. So here's a Coro quivering camellia. It wasn't in amazing shape. I bought it on eBay. I saw it way underpriced pop up. I bought it. It was for a quick flip. It wasn't for, so it didn't necessarily, I think I paid $20 for it. So 20 into 97 is not something I really do very often, but there was something else I wanted from their store. I saw this, so I hurried up and snatched it up. It did sell really quick. I listed it June 24th. So it was a fast flip, and I priced it to make sure it did go quickly. As you can see, it was a fur clip. It wasn't just a brooch. You can see right there, there's the little fur tongs. And when I bought it, they had it marked as not marked, but it absolutely was signed. It was signed Coro up underneath here. It had a Coro sign, so it was signed. Hopefully somebody loves it. If you've never looked up the Coro quivering camellias, do look them up. They can be super valuable. Here's another gold-filled locket. This one had the like couple different kinds of tones going on, had a little bit more elaborate etching, which also brings up the value. And it did have a person. His long lost love was lost apparently because she's no longer with us, but I had the one resident in it. That helps. I always show the hinges. I try to show everything I can to show the condition. Sold for $104, and I had it listed since about the end of April. This was one of the consignment options. It was verified Juliana. Absolutely was Juliana in every way. It was very well made, nice construction. Stones were very bright. Very nice. Let's see what the back. So here's the look. You can see how thick the construction is, how well made it is, and you can look it up in the Is It Juliana database, which I never say verified unless I found it in the database. This was a CNC Griffin brooch. I thought he was really neat. I got him in a big lot. that whenever I see these like the Egyptian mythology type critters and animals, I always look them up to see if they're signed, especially because lots of times they can be worth decent money. Sold full price for $169.99. So I was very happy about that. It listed June 5th, so it didn't take it that long. This is a HAR, the HAR brand that we've talked about a few times. Sold for $127.49. I had it listed since May 23rd, so it did take a good cycle for it to get through. This one had some great rhinestones on it. It was really well done. See the back, you can see there's the name on it. I did get this. I think this one was on a Whatnot show a while back, so I was happy about that. And of course, I'm still selling flats of my junk boxes. I don't have as many coming in right now as far as for items that I make my junk boxes out of. So if you are wanting junk boxes, you like my junk boxes, you may want to get one now because there's going to be a little bit of a lag between when this batch is gone and when I have more. So it's not going to be as plentiful next round. And some of them are full of just stuff that I ran in a live, but it didn't sell. So some boxes are full of all wearable things. Some boxes are full of a consignment or not a consignment, but let's say I get a whole lot and it's all broke. Well, then that jump box I'm dumping into is going to be all broken things. So it just look at the pictures. Whatever's in the box is what you'll get in the box. And I realized I had a few mix-ups early on with the box or whatever, but I made those right. And I don't want anybody to think you don't get what's in the box because I had a SKU number switch. And of course I fixed it, but if you happen to get it and it's not, let me know. But other than that, it is what's in the pictures or is what's in the box. So it's not a mystery box by any means. So here's $112.49. And I'm happy with that with the large boxes. I will take offers when they're not on sale. And then the shipping is what I pay is the $30. So I will end what I sold this week on that. And I do get lots of questions like, why do you admit when things are like I could have never mentioned that I had that swapped SKU number on that junk box because it doesn't matter because I'm just here sharing like my journey, the way things work for me. And in all reality, I make mistakes sometimes like everybody else. And it's all in how we fix our mistakes. It's not the mistakes we make as much as how do we fix them and how do we make sure it doesn't happen from going forward. And so the next bunch I did, I made sure I put a piece of paper in between each picture because the junk boxes look a lot alike and I had one swapped. And so I make sure now I put in a blank piece of paper in between them so that I know it's starting on the new one. It's all in how to prevent moving forward, how we just don't have it happen again. Because if you're human, you're going to make errors once in a while. And I am no exception to that rule. So I hope we go into this week having a great week. So you'll probably see this on Monday. So you've got the whole rest of the week to just push as hard as you can through the week. If you have family things coming up, get some of those, maybe when it's quiet in an evening or in the morning when maybe you don't usually work, put some of those listings into schedule so then you can enjoy your family time if you have something set up for a holiday or for, summer get together or vacation. So they don't have to worry about it. They're scheduled. They'll just go launch without you. And on that day, you can really enjoy yourself. Does that mean we have to work a little harder ahead of time? Yes, but such is life. Sometimes if we have jobs, we clock in for other people. They make us get stuff done before we leave for an extended period of time too. So why wouldn't we do the same for ourselves? Why would we let ourselves down if you wouldn't let a boss that didn't really even care about you down? Not that some bosses do really care, don't get me wrong, but a lot of them were just making them money and we're part of their whole process. Just like you have your own process that's generating money, they do too. But don't let yourself down if you wouldn't let somebody else down. And don't stop your wheel of money when you would never do that to a boss. Just putting it out there. Have a fantastic week. I really appreciate it. Hope to see you on my lives. I'm going to do one at Wednesday, 7 o'clock Central Time this week. And then again on Sunday at 5 p.m. Central also. Thanks so much. Have a great time.